approval of the minutes from the May 16th meeting, and if anybody has any additions or corrections. Does anybody want to second approval, or? We first I need a motion.
Yes,
Sorry.
I will make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And our next order of business is Laschelle.
Okay, according to the minutes, I had to go back to March. You didn't have a meeting for a couple months. So in March, the council extended the lawn care contract with Woodlawn Lawn Care, who have been our lawn care companies for 20 plus years. We also did a change order with S.E. Davis, who they were the company that put the slips and the pier in at the wharf, and we also contract with them to replace all the deck boards on the elevated catwalk, and then we added on the deck boards around the concession building, and they have replaced all of those, and it's really nice. They've also finished phase 2 of the slips, which is the 120-foot extension on the T part of the pier. And the only thing they have left is, I think, a couple minor details. And we have to, the town is then adding electric and water to the slips and a pump station. So we're working on that currently. In April, I just gave them a lot of different project updates. We did a paving contract with Beltway Paving. We paved part of Washington Street and Longmore Street. And then we discussed the trolley. So starting June 1st, the trolley is running all summer long, Friday evening, all day Saturday, and Sunday during the day. It's been very active, and people are really starting to enjoy it and use it a lot. And so it's kind of a trial run for this summer and see how it goes. And then we'll use it, of course, for other special events. But for right now, it's running all summer. And then the L-Town Alley project is underway. We had the second ribbon cutting. Well, the first one got rained out, but the 2 murals are finished. The one on Union Fiberworks and the one on the storage building. And then in September, or first Friday, we hope to have the Duke Alley murals ribbon cutting. And we are starting next week. We're starting demolition in the alley and getting storm structures in and getting the whole L-Town Alley project started. So we're really excited about that. And then last month, we just had a couple contracts that we renewed, one for our IT services with Just Tech, and one to renew the paver install and repair contract with Stepping Stone. They do all the brick sidewalks and parking lot pavers that we have. And that's it. Any questions?
Thank you. Okay, new business, we have case number 11-17E, Shepherd's Oldfield Market at 22725 Duke Street, building addition, and they're requesting to expand the northern side of the building by 13 by 40 feet.
Good afternoon, members. The owner is Urban Suburban LLC, care of Jerry, and I'm not going to say your last name right. And the surveyor is Little Silence Rest Incorporated. The tax map is 133, grid 3, parcel 193. Land area is 31,900 square feet. The property is zoned commercial business. The applicant is requesting concept review and approval of a 13 by 40 building addition along the northern portion of the existing building. This property consists of 2 parcels of land located at the southwest intersection of the existing Bartholomew Street and Duke Street extended. The properties combined are approximately 1.215 acres or 52,924 square feet, which includes part of the Duke Street extension. The existing building is approximately 13,002 square feet. According to the real property data search, the existing building is currently served by public water and sewer, and temporary grease traps have been installed for tenants that require them. The total required parking spaces based on the existing conditions is 70 spaces. The site currently has 82 parking spots, as shown on this civil design drawing. Per the commercial business zoning, the property has the following building restriction lines. It's a front 0 foot, side is 3 foot, rear is 3 feet, and the building height restriction is 45 feet. The building currently houses Botanic Cafe, Brew to Garden Beer and Garden Cafe, and multiple pop-up crafters and artisans, etc. I'm gonna try this. Miss LaRue. Okay, thank you. Miss LaRue is requesting a 13 by 40 addition to the northern end of the existing building along Bartholomew Street. The additional proposed is for a 2-story building with a assembly area on the rooftop. The proposed addition is to be used for upgrading the current kitchen area and providing 2 new bathrooms on the ground floor, with the 2nd story and roof area to be utilized as additional assembly area. The total square footage proposed is 1,672 square feet, more or less. The proposed addition meets the current building restriction line requirements per the current town ordinance. Now, this site development plan, the architectural plans were sent to the fire marshals, and you can see they had multiple comments that need to be addressed. I'm not going to go through each and every one of them unless you'd like me to. We're requesting all government agencies' comments to be addressed to include St. Mary's County Health Department and all commissioners of Leonardtown comments. We also need to resolve the dimensional discrepancies between the architectural drawings and the site development plan submitted by the surveyor. The ARC plans reflect a 17-foot by 30-foot addition. The concept site development plan reflects a 13 by 40. So the applicant is requesting concept approval for the proposed building addition. The Planning and Zoning Commission can vote to approve with conditions, delay, or deny a decision. And I open the floor up to questions.
Are you gonna do a presentation at all?
Well, Wayne is here for the site, plan, which basically I preempted it and got the architect working on the addition before we had realized, that we would be close to the Smecco wires which were overhead. So that had to be reconfigured. When we got, the square footage is still going to be the same. Instead of 17 feet, it's 12, 13 feet. Then it's gonna go longer. So the square footage will still be there. And that will account for storm drainage, stormwater management. One of the issues that the fire marshal brought up, the other ones I think, according to my architect, he can answer all of them, and I think the biggest question is going to be whether the rooftop is going to be argued in time for me to proceed. We do have a big town combine effort in October for Brewfest, which is, we desperately are going to need the kitchen for. I'm not as worried about the rooftop as I am. If the architect and the fire marshal come to an agreement that it is feasible, then fine. I think the other questions that he had there were the type of material that would be used in the construction of this 2-story building. So the reason for that really is to expand the kitchen. I cannot expand inside into Shepherd's Field. I'm outgrowing Shepherd's Field too. And then for some more inside space, because as you may know, we do have a lot of outdoor space, but in the winter, we get really small and we can't accommodate the number of people those, so that, you know, we could have a preliminary, approval or whatever it is that you're gonna pass today. And then the only things really that I have to do is just to get that resubmission from the architect to the fire marshal, answering those questions and providing a new dimensions of the building.
So, how is it being changed and what's here?
What's, on this plan it shows 13 by 40. I believe it's gonna be 17 by.
It was 17, and it's gonna be 17.
Okay, it's gonna be 13 by 40, which is the smaller plan, has the correct dimensions on it. So, per the staff report, it was 17 by 35, and now it's gonna be 13 by 40.
Right.
But this site plan, the size version is correct.
Yeah. So, is this gonna be on any of the property that where you now have the, outdoor garden, or is it gonna be, it's gonna extend back to where the parking lot was?
No,
Yes.
Okay,
well, this is going, so if you come to the Bruder Garden, the road goes straight down towards the apartment complex, and then Duke Street extended goes to the left. This is gonna be right on the end of the building on Bartholomew.
okay.
It's not on the back side where the additional parking is.
Right now they have a couple gravel spots. It's gonna go there, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. They're adding a grease trap as well, which has been a requirement, with, Botanic expanding and with, expanding the kitchen for the Bruder Garden as well. They need to have a permanent grease trap, so it's going on the end of the building as well. So just, the fire marshal has not approved the rooftop. I would probably recommend, if you wanted to go ahead and move forward with approval, that we, wait and see on that from what the fire marshal says, because it's not clear if that's gonna be allowed or not. And, so it wouldn't be good for you all to give approval if it's not gonna be allowed.
Well, now the rooftop, was that like a third floor?
Right, this will be 2-story building, and they
Yes.
would have just seating on the roof. But
Yeah, open seating on the roof.
And you were gonna have seating on the second floor then?
Yes, inside seating.
you already have.
We already have,
Yeah.
and then we're just extending it,
Okay.
because it's a really small room.
Yeah, it is. I've been
Liz-
there.
Lachelle, what were the St. Mary's Health Department comments and the commissioners of Leonard Town?
Approval because it's a kitchen.
And that's what the
commercial
grease trap?
kitchen,
Okay.
And so do they have their plans yet?
Yes, yes and no, because now with it being shorter, instead of 17 feet, it's 13, the equipment has to be reconfigured again, so we're going to have to maybe extend, because I'm gonna have that extra 5 feet with some of the stuff that is in there. It's just a reconfiguration, of the equipment in there, but that's all the equipment that we are going to need for the expansion of the.
And that's pretty, I mean, you can approve the idea, I mean, we just have to have the health department sign off before we could issue a building permit.
Okay.
But like I said, I don't think it would be wise to approve the rooftop until we know it's gonna be actually allowed. The expansion of the kitchen is, not gonna be a problem up here, we would still have to wait for the fireman marshal comments. And he has submitted the first round of comments, and the architect is answering his questions. So now, once that happens, hopefully we'll have the final conclusion of whether they are gonna approve the rooftop or not.
So then does it come back to us after with the fire marshal?
If you proceed with
Okay.
the rooftop, it will come back to you, yes.
Okay.
What ordinances, I'm assuming these are state ordinances for rooftop. Is this something that is not allowable, or it is allowable, or
It's
what?
allowable in the zoning, but it's
Okay.
not, really down to the sprinkler systems, I believe is what's gonna be.
And
Not for the
stairs.
rooftop, Not for the access,
Yeah.
secondary access, or, you know.
So he specifically, the fire marshal did discuss third
The steps.
top, in other words, a third story would require sprinkler because it would be considered a V classification.
So right now it's
No rooftop.
that's the thing, if it's gonna require sprinklering, then
Yeah,
she's not gonna proceed, so I
Mm-hmm.
don't think that's really something that you can move forward on, it would need to come back for you,
Yeah.
to you. You can act on the expansion of the kitchen and the additional,
And then she can come back as that being an addition, another
If
addition,
I decide to
separate
go.
from this one. Okay.
Out of curiosity, are there other similar places around the state that this has been like? I can't imagine there's no rooftop bars in Maryland.
Oh, I'm sure there is, but
It's just
a
a
matter of
classification
the
it is.
buildings, you know, sprinklered or not sprinklered, and, you know, they may have been approved before the rules changed.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the ones I know are probably all grandfathered in.
Right.
I'm just curious what those
We don't know
are.
what the outcome will be of that, but I don't really,
I'm not, to tell you the truth, just from the urgency of having to have that building for the kitchen, you know, I probably am gonna recommend that my architect just go ahead and submit it without the rooftop, so I can get faster approval. If we ever, I have so much outside space. It's not like I need any
True.
more outside space. We already are gonna have a rooftop place in Lennon, so, but I desperately need that kitchen.
Another thing I noticed, so you're gonna have then restrooms dedicated
Inside
for
the
inside for once. Yes.
Yeah.
Does that mean are you still gonna have connection to Shepherd's Oldfield, or is that I couldn't
Yes,
tell
you
on the
still
plans?
can. There's still that door there, but, there's going to be like a gate that closes at the end of, at the end of the day at the market, so that they cannot, go in there. And bathrooms is another thing we want to have, but we've not, truthfully, in the 3 years that we've had it, we have had no problems, with things going missing. Maybe a little breakage from some drums, but, other than that, no. And of course, people are so surprised when they walk out to go to the bathroom and see this whole addition, especially if they're just going to the garden and going to the market is there, so.
Another question I have on parking.
I was gonna.
Oh, go ahead,
and
sorry.
I was gonna ask the same. No,
Oh, okay.
likewise.
I was just gonna
not
say,
just
so
the
what is-
parking,
what is
the
currently-
situation.
So 70 is saying what they'll need for this addition. What is it currently? I know they have 82, but what is it? What are they required to have now?
so the kitchen wouldn't require additional parking.
It would require
on the
6
second floor.
additional parking spots.
And she has 12 extra now, and she's adding some additional ones.
So the 76 would be total required, and they have the 82.
No, you're fine. And to confirm, just the parking that's along the street behind the firehouse count as parking?
Yes,
Yes.
she owns that
Yes.
property.
She owns that property.
Yes.
Yes, that's not a public street. She
That,
owns
so
that
that's
property.
not even town
No.
street,
No.
that's, I was curious because, like, I know I was there a week or so ago, and it was totally flooded from all the rain, and like, you can't, and the ground's like crumbling. I just didn't know if that was town
No, that's
or,
all private property.
okay.
Just does not seem like 82 parking spots.
She has the space
Now
behind that she
behind there.
leases.
Oh, that one
And she
too.
has,
Do people know that? Did you know that?
I do now, I parked there when I was last there, like, I parked all the way over, yeah.
She leases that from Tudor Hall Farm, and
I
then
didn't-
she
I didn't know
has
that. I've been there a million
she
times.
purchased the property next door, Dooley property, and that is parking, and she's adding some additional parking behind on that,
I see.
but even before that additional parking, go ahead.
Yeah.
So
that's what
before
shows.
that, under usage data, you'll notice it's 520 square foot proposed addition. That would be for one floor. So double that to 1040, that's the square footage that's being added, not the impervious surface that's being created. So that would bump the addition required from 6 to 12, the total required from 76 to 82, so we're even money.
But the kitchen doesn't require additional seating.
It's 5
so-
square footage.
But we do not, okay. But she still meets it.
Yeah.
So,
Any other questions? No comments?
I hope the rooftop works out. I think that would be very cool.
put up big fencing.
Yeah, I don't know what the requirement, I'll tell you, with the approval of the addition of Shepherd's Oldfield Market, I do believe that my architect and fire marshal were arguing for 8 months about a certain code that they finally had to go up to, who's the big mucky muck that makes all the code? CM, whatever that is, and they ruled in favor of the architect. But I don't have time, I don't have time for an argument right now, and I need the kitchen. You know, eventually, yes, we can go, I mean, I can construct a rooftop as something to just do an additional stairs to go upstairs, I don't think that's gonna be a big deal. And of course, I do not want to have the requirement of sprinklers, because it's inequality, that's it. You know? So right now, as it stands, my architect said, well, let me go back and have one argument. I said, not an 8-month argument, you're not. So, it was painful, 8 months was painful.
Okay, so then how do we,
I think we're
write
gonna,
a motion?
When you do the
we're gonna make it
motion,
with the condition for the fire marshal, right?
you were going to say that we're going to exclude that roof garden part.
No, not just that, but depending on the fire marshal review and approval as well.
Well, it has to depend on the
Yeah.
fire marshal. Did you see what he wrote here? On the last page.
Yeah, it's on the last.
So we would approve with conditions and that the conditions would include the fire marshal review and approval.
Yes, and health.
Final review and approval.
And then it would come back to you if, the fire marshal allowed the upstairs seating and readdress it.
So why don't you go ahead and do it?
Did it sound good? That was all right, that worked, we all agree?
Good job.
As long as that's legally okay.
What would you like me to make a motion?
I would like you to make a motion.
I move to approve with conditions on final fire marshal review and approval, the request for case number 11-17E, Shepherd's Oldfield Market, 22725 Duke Street Building Addition. Good, Laschelle? Excluding the rooftop.
And that would come back to you.
And then you'll come back and see us, Jerry,
The fire marshal has.
if the fire marshal approves.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 There you go.
Thank you.
Good luck in getting it done by October.
Yeah.
No stress.
No.
And I think that's what happened is, you know, I kind of tried to get going on it and had the architect do the original one, because I never added to the building, I've always just worked in the building.
Yeah.
To have LSI come in to do the sites plan, where it's, how you live in your room. Sometimes it's
I like the side. I like the side.
So, the next order of business is the review of the in-house inmate center agreement. Does anybody have any questions about this?
Could you talk a little bit more about the formula business restriction meeting you had?
So, we informed the committee, we will look at the formula business restriction, we've met several times, drafted, some recommended language, we presented it at the Business Association and got some feedback. We've also sent it to a couple of local, businesses that have franchises that would fall under the formula business to get some feedback on that. And so as soon as we get that feedback, then it'll go to the council with all the information, the comments from the business association, from the committee, and also, comments from, the franchise owners. And then we would have public hearings as well, to move anything forward. So, hopefully in a month or so, we should be able to start moving that forward through the public hearing process.
And then how would that affect how this board would move forward with any considerations in the future?
For this board?
For us, yes.
Right, so, what we are recommending is a limit to square footage where that, a chain store can have downtown. There may be another step that if they needed more, they could go through a, more stringent process similar to the PERD ordinance that we have, to give a little bit more flexibility. So those are kind of things that we're tweaking now. But you all would also weigh in with a recommendation to the council once it started through the process. And we're using the same process with some of our other ordinances. And I don't have all the language here off the top of my head, but I believe we were doing another public hearing if you wanted to go above the square footage that we were putting. I think it was about 4,000 square foot.
I can't remember, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was
4,000. So, like I said, it's got a long way to go through the process. It'll be a very public process with an ordinance. We'll introduce it. It'll come to you guys, and you'll send a recommendation, and then we'll have a public hearing at another town council meeting before it would be able to be passed.
Did you get any significant comments from the LBA or from the franchise owners?
Not from the franchise owners. I'm waiting for that. One of them I was supposed to meet with last week, and we had to change the meeting, but I haven't gotten from the other one. And we did have a lot of conversation at the LBA meeting, but I mean, people were very interested in it, and they're anxious for it to move through the process.
I thought it was pretty positive.
It was positive, yes.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything? Well, there's nothing, no other questions? Oh, I did have one question, because Heather, when you were talking about they finished the pier, because I know it's not the same thing, but did they ever do anything about the
Floating dock?
floating? Right.
I don't think the
No,
floating
I'm
dock's been
waiting,
done
I'm
yet.
trying to get pricing on it. We can replace it, with the size it is now, and I have a design for it. I'm just waiting on pricing, because S.C. Davis, it has to be a licensed contractor, and I can do it under the same contract. I have grant money coming to pay for it, we can't get pricing from the company. And, I'm also trying to accommodate something for the, seaplane rides as well. So, we're still working on that.
Yeah.
But we can't, I have a different, type of floating dock that we wanna put down there. I've already sent 5 emails and phone calls trying to get the pricing, but it's just difficult right now to get any project moving forward.
Oh, yeah. I just had somebody that I know was hurt on it. I think I don't think you were here the last, maybe that time. Yeah, they, hurt their foot pretty bad. They went straight through it.
Okay,
Yeah.
alright.
I did tell them downstairs, because I didn't know if they wanted to even rope it off.
We need to rope it off.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's unfortunate, because they want something, but a lot of people put it over by the road, sorry.
That's right.
More
Yeah.
people use it.
I use the rocks, yeah,
So we'll put it off tomorrow.
regardless of the snakes.
I thought he did too, yeah.
The last time I was there, people were still using it.
mentioned it to him, and he went right away to investigate it.
Yeah, okay.
So I was there like 2 weeks ago, and people were still using it.
Alright, sometimes
They
people
might
take
have
down-
torn it down, Terry.
Take down the barricades and stuff, so
Yeah.
we'll see what we can come up with.
Okay. Anything else? Motion to adjourn. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.